My petty revenge involved glitter. For years, the beige walls of the office practically vibrated with Brenda's voice. "Sarah, honey," she drawled, the honey dripping with condescension, "are you sure you know how to work the copier? It's not exactly rocket science." I bit back a response, a familiar knot forming in my stomach. It was my third week at Sterling Cooper Partners, and Brenda had made it her mission to establish dominance. I'd been genuinely trying to be friendly, complimenting her gaudy jewelry and offering to help with tasks. But it was never enough. My kindness was met with thinly veiled insults and blatant attempts to undermine me. "I think I've got it, Brenda," I said, keeping my voice level. I hated how small it made me feel to have to constantly defend myself against her petty attacks. Mark, a slightly chubby guy from accounting, shuffled past, avoiding eye contact. He'd been friendly enough when I'd started, even offering to show me the best lunch spots. But he'd quickly learned that aligning himself with Brenda was the path of least resistance. That evening, I met David at our usual dive bar. "She's relentless," I complained, nursing a cheap beer. "It's like she's threatened by my existence." David, ever the voice of reason, sighed. "Document everything, Sarah. Every snide comment, every stolen idea. You might need it later." I rolled my eyes. "And then what?" "Go to Mrs. Henderson. She practically worships Brenda." He shrugged. "Doesn't hurt to have it. Think of it as your ammunition." I started keeping a log. It filled quickly. Brenda taking credit for my presentation ideas in a meeting. Brenda accidentally deleting a crucial file I'd been working on all day. Brenda telling Janet from HR that I had a personality conflict and wasn't a team player. The breaking point came 6 months in. I'd poured my heart and soul into a new marketing campaign for a major client. Late nights, endless revisions, countless cups of lukewarm coffee. It was my baby. The presentation went flawlessly. The client loved it. My boss, Mr. Peterson, even gave me a rare smile and a pat on the back. I was sure this would be my ticket to a long overdue promotion. The following week, Mr. Peterson called a meeting to discuss the campaign's rollout. And there was Brenda, standing beside him, beaming. "Brenda here was instrumental in developing this campaign," Mr. Peterson announced, patting her on the shoulder. "She really brought a fresh perspective." I stared at them, speechless. Brenda smirked at me, a flicker of triumph in her eyes. The blood rushed to my head. I wanted to scream, to call her out, to expose her for the manipulative, credit-stealing harpy she was. But I didn't. I just sat there, numb, as Brenda went on and on about her vision and her strategy. Mark nodded along enthusiastically, throwing me a furtive, apologetic glance. That night, fueled by rage and cheap whiskey, I told David, "I'm not going to HR. I'm not going to confront her. I'm going to make her life a living hell." He looked at me, concerned. "Sarah, don't do anything stupid." "Oh, I won't," I said, a strange calm washing over me. "I'm going to be perfectly, exquisitely petty." I started researching. Hours spent online, delving into the world of glitter. Yes, glitter. The bane of crafters everywhere, the herpes of the craft world. Impossible to remove, incredibly annoying, and universally despised. It was perfect. I ordered a large quantity of extra fine glitter in various shades of iridescent pink, lime green, and electric blue. I also invested in a small, battery-operated glitter dispenser and a set of miniature funnels. My first act of glitter-based revenge was subtle. I waited until Brenda left her desk for lunch. Then, using the mini funnel, I carefully sprinkled a generous amount of iridescent pink glitter into the crevices of her keyboard. Not enough to be immediately noticeable, but enough to ensure that every time she typed, she'd be reminded of my existence. The next day, I saw Brenda frantically shaking her keyboard, a look of bewildered annoyance on her face. A tiny smile crept across my lips. The glitter attacks escalated. I sprinkled glitter in her coffee. She always added so much sugar she never noticed the slight grittiness. I dusted her stapler with a fine layer of lime green sparkle. I even managed to sneak into her car during a company picnic and strategically place glitter on her driver's seat. Brenda became increasingly paranoid. She started accusing everyone of sabotaging her. She yelled at Janet from HR, convinced she was behind the glitter attacks. She even confronted Mark, who denied everything with wide-eyed innocence. Her performance at work began to suffer. She was distracted, irritable, and prone to making mistakes. Mr. Peterson started giving her sideways glances. One day, I overheard Brenda complaining to one of her friends, a gaggle of vapid women who seemed to orbit her for reasons I couldn't fathom about the glitter. "It's everywhere," she wailed. "I can't get rid of it, it's like it's mocking me." I stifled a laugh. That was the point. I started experimenting with different types of glitter. Holographic glitter, chunky glitter, even glow in the dark glitter. I became a glitter ninja, a master of sparkly mayhem. I even went so far as to anonymously send Brenda a glitter-covered birthday card. Inside, I wrote, "Hope your day sparkles." Her reaction was priceless. The office became a breeding ground for rumors. Some people suspected me, but I played the innocent card perfectly. I was always helpful, always polite, always just a little bit too cheerful. Mark, sensing the shift in power, started to distance himself from Brenda. He even started being a little nicer to me, offering me coffee and asking about my weekend. I accepted his overtures with a polite smile, but I never forgot his betrayal. Mrs. Henderson, the office manager, was clearly at her wit's end. She called a meeting to address the glitter situation. She implored everyone to be professional and to refrain from engaging in childish pranks. Brenda glared at me throughout the entire meeting, her eyes narrowed with suspicion. I just smiled sweetly and took notes. The years passed. The glitter attacks continued, evolving in their complexity and audacity. I once replaced Brenda's hand lotion with glitter gel. I even managed to sneak into her office and replace her framed family photo with one that I had painstakingly photoshopped to include a subtle dusting of glitter on everyone's faces. Brenda was unraveling. She became convinced that she was cursed. She started seeing a therapist. She even hired a private investigator to find out who was behind the glitter attacks. The investigator, of course, found nothing. I was too careful, too meticulous, too petty. Meanwhile, I was thriving. My hard work was finally being recognized. I got the promotion I deserved. I became a valuable asset to the company. Brenda, on the other hand, was a disaster. Her performance continued to decline. Her colleagues avoided her. Mr. Peterson lost all patience with her. Then came the day I had been waiting for. I walked into the office to find Brenda packing her belongings. She had been fired. She looked up as I approached, her face a mask of fury and despair. "You," she hissed. "You did this to me, didn't you?" I looked at her, my face an expression of genuine confusion. "I have no idea what you're talking about, Brenda." She stared at me for a long moment, her eyes searching for any sign of guilt or triumph, but I gave her nothing. As she walked out of the office, a faint dusting of iridescent glitter fell from her coat. No one else noticed it, but I did, and I allowed myself a small, secret smile. Later that day, David called. "So, Brenda's gone?" "Yep," I said, popping the pea. "Gone for good." "Did anything to do with that?" he asked tentatively. I chuckled. "Me, I'm just a harmless office worker, David. I wouldn't dream of sabotaging anyone's career." He sighed. "You're incorrigible." "Maybe," I said, "but it was worth it." Years later, I still think about Brenda sometimes. I wonder if she ever figured out who was behind the glitter attacks. I doubt it. And I also wonder if, even now, years after she left Sterling Cooper Partners, she still finds the occasional speck of glitter in her life. A tiny, sparkly reminder of the woman she underestimated and the petty revenge that ultimately led to her downfall. I hope she does, because some things, like glitter, are impossible to completely erase. And some lessons, like the consequences of being a bully, should never be forgotten. The memories still brought a smile to my face. I smiled just thinking how it will be years before she ever stops finding the odd bit of glitter.